By the way, the game's going to be going on in the background, and there's nothing you can do about it. In my mirror, anyway.
Ew.
With Canadian football?
No, not Canadian football.
No?
Jerk.
What
Canadian
other kind of
football
game?
season.
Hockey? Is hockey going on?
Playoffs. Yes, NHL playoffs.
Okay. Well then. La-dee-da.
Oh, and we'll talk about it, but Phil, thank you for recommending Doom. That game is fucking awesome.
Well,
Now we don't have to talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
That's all.
That's it.
No.
That was the discussion.
That was it.
did you notice how much more F-bombs have been dropping since Ethan's been on this show?
Yep.
That's true. We've doubled it.
Why are you turning our show into an explicit?
Your own personal potty mouth playground.
House
Yeah.
of ill repute.
Yeah. Listen to this.
It's fine. It's fine.
He can't talk like this around his kids, so it is.
Yes,
it
the
is
left
the
out.
release. Alone.
Yeah. I will cut back on the F-bombs.
It's a release.
Yeah.
It's your sweet release.
Want to know about my sweet release?
Things are just
Phil?
getting worse and worse and worse.
Eggs. We're
Nice.
live on the air. This is a family show. Family show.
It's Ethan's salty release.
Wait,
Why?
Ethan,
Why
that's
would
gross.
you-
That's
why?
gross. That's gross.
Cheers.
That's
Cheers.
gross, Ethan. You're gross.
What is happening?
Creepers.
Hello and welcome to episode 498 of Player One Podcast for Tuesday, May 24th, 2016. I'm your host, Chris Johnston. With me, as always, watching some kind of game on television, like he's Greg Ford or something, Mr. Greg Stewart.
Go Penguins.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, it's too bad we didn't have video when Ford was on. We could have totally caught him.
Well, he was always. We did have video sometimes, but he was watching it on the screen that he was recording, like on his computer screen.
Oh,
You could just tell he wasn't looking at us.
yeah.
He was looking away.
And joining us from the West Coast, California, to be exact, is a man who now plays with toys on YouTube, Mr. Phil Theobald.
Yo, listen up, here's a story about a little guy that lives in a blue world, and all day and all night, and everything he sees is just blue, like him, inside and outside, blue his house with a blue little window and a blue Corvette, and everything is blue for him, and himself, and everybody around,
Are you
because he
talking about the Blue
ain't got
Bomber?
nobody
Blue Bomber?
to listen. I'm blue, na-ba-dee, 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 na-ba-dee.
I'm just gonna have to cut off this whole part out.
So we don't have to pay royalties?
What is that?
Huh? That's the
That's the song "Blue"
that's the blue song.
by Eiffel 65, isn't it?
Is that the name of the group?
believe so.
Eiffel 65?
I don't
yeah,
know.
yeah,
I think
yeah.
it's also your best Andy Samberg.
What? Thank you. I think. I think.
Yeah.
I started a YouTube series that nothing to do with Euro trash dance music, but I did. I started a little.
Kind of harsh on the Euro trash, but
What? I started a little toy YouTube show with my son,
yeah,
Finn and I.
you call it starting a toy YouTube show with your son. I call it exploiting your son for hits.
Gotta monetize.
Potato,
Frankly, I'm
potato.
disappointed in Dana, assuming she knows about it.
Oh, she does know. You know what? I asked her about it first. I got
Hey,
full
honey,
permission from
Evan,
her.
this kid Evan makes lots of money. We could do that. We procreated.
We got a cute kid. Let's milk that thing. You know?
If you hurt them if you try to milk them.
Not if you're careful. Not if you're careful and you get one of those electrified.
Yeah,
They have
let's not
machines
go any
now.
further with that.
No. We're gonna cut that. You're gonna cut that right off, I just say. Oh, whoa.
And joining us.
Go watch Phil of Toys on YouTube. It's
Wow.
adorable.
Yeah,
What?
yeah, it is.
Exploitative.
Well,
Exploitative.
We'll put it
Yeah,
in the show notes.
Put it in the show notes. It's
No.
fun.
I will.
Second episode 2 just went up. Yeah.
Don't worry, I'll leave it at episode 1 for the next 2 years.
Hot scoop,
Yeah.
exactly. I'm going to.
Yeah.
That's what I'll do. And joining us also from California is our friend of the show person, maybe fourth chair. Who knows?
Let's not jump the gun.
Mr. Ethan Einhorn, hello.
Hey guys, it's good to be back again.
Is it?
It's great, and I'm shocked that none of you have taken the time out of your busy schedules to see Angry Birds, but it is one half of a great movie, so check that out.
Explain.
The first half of the movie is boring and plotting and not very funny at all, and you kind of want to leave, and then suddenly the catapult comes out and it becomes a lot of fun.
Oh, once they start making it really
Is the first
games, I guess.
Is the first half just about getting angry? Are they like?
Yeah.
They have to set up the whole story between the birds and the pigs. So.
Yeah, and this will not spoil anything of significance, but midway through, Peter Dinklage has a minute-long pee joke, which my
Peter
5-year-old...
Dinklage is it?
Yeah.
Really? Who's Peter Dinklage play?
He plays the Mighty
Tyrion
Eagle.
Lannister.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And he has a minute-long pee joke that my son, and we had gone for his birthday with all his friends. My son and his friends thought that was by far the funniest part
Okay.
of the whole.
A minute-long pee joke does sound promising.
Yeah, also, there is the giant bird that has not a line of dialogue and just grunts, and inexplicably he is played by Sean Penn.
That's great.
Nice.
He's just getting ready to win another Oscar, right?
Yeah.
Well deserved.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, how you guys doing?
Good.
Oh, fine.
Hey,
fine.
Greg.
Yo,
How do you like that Gran Turismo Sport?
looks pretty sweet.
It does. So this is not like Gran Turismo's version of Forza Horizon, right? Like it's.
No, I don't know why
Still-
people are saying that.
I don't know why either. It's like they changed the name, so it has to be a different game, right? But
Yeah, I mean, I think
it doesn't look any different.
I don't want to call it like GT Prologue either, because I don't think that doesn't seem like it would be fair. Although I don't really know how the numbers compare. I think that it's a lower car count at least, because they've finally gotten rid of all the low res cars. I don't know anybody who hasn't really been following the Gran Turismo series. So what's been happening? Like there's a ridiculous number of cars in every game. And what was happening over the PS3 lifespan is that they had taken a handful of those cars and re-rendered them very high res, and they rendered the interiors very nicely and things like that. But then the problem is that when you had some of the existing models, I believe from the PS2 games, it was really obvious. Right? Like you get that car on screen and it just looked terrible compared to the I forget what the premium cars, I think they called them. And then also if you ran, when they finally released like a cockpit view mode in the game, if you ran that view in with the premium cars, you got a nice fully rendered interior of the car. If you ran that in one of the standard cars, it was just sort of a black border around everything.
PS1.
They eventually changed
Oh,
that.
yeah.
They made it like a generic interior that you saw instead. But so what they've done, my understanding is that they've culled all of those, and then they're taking the premium cars and have been creating new premium or updated models for this game. So I mean, the game looks gorgeous. The reel was pretty cool because it was all real gameplay. I mean, it was there was a nice trailer, but then it was a bunch of multiplayer races that they showed.
Yeah, then they showed off a photo mode where you can like select different.
It looks
locations
ridiculous.
And place cars in there and change the lighting. It really does look ridiculous.
And a full livery editor as well, which has been a huge thing for the Forza series. I mean, the amount of the paint jobs that people pull off in the Forza games is, considering the tools, is amazing. And it looks like Sony and Polyphony are going to try to get that going with their community as well. So all in all, really exciting. Really, I pre-ordered it immediately because especially the digital version was actually really cheap to pre-order for us Canadians. I think it was just the American price.
Huh. Okay.
All over that.
Comes out in November.
Mm-hmm. Hopefully VR compatible. I don't think they said anything about that in the reveal.
Yeah,
So we'll see.
that'd be nice.
Yes. Either way, very stoked. Looks fantastic.
Cool. And since we're on the racing tip, do you want to tell us about what you put in the outline?
You don't
No
care,
idea.
but this is big news for NASCAR fans, the few of us that are left. Duesenberry Martin Racing picked up the NASCAR license from I forget who had it last. It was Activision, and then there was another small company that had it, which was during the time that Eutechnyx was actually creating the games, and they were pretty rough. They were pretty bad in general. Actually, they were bug ridden. They were a mess. They weren't very playable. Anyway, this company, Duesenberry Martin Racing, is actually made up of veterans of the game franchise, Ed Martin and I think it's Matt Duesenberry or Tom Duesenberry, both of them anyway, father and son. And they were involved in the NASCAR Heat series for Hasbro back in the day, 2002. And then Ed Martin also worked on the Thunder series for EA, which was sort of the last time that the games were good. So, and I know that that group actually has hired a fair amount of the ex-EA Tiburon people that worked on the NASCAR games as well. So that in itself is pretty exciting to know if you're a fan of that series, or we're a fan of that series. But this past week, they finally announced their next game. So the first game that they released, the first full AAA game they released, was actually the latest version that Eutechnyx had created. It was just a reskin, just to get something out the door and on the shelves. But their first original game using the license for home consoles and PC, I believe, is going to be called NASCAR Heat Evolution, and it's actually being done by Monster Games, which was the same company that did those games back in 2002 and 2001. Like they did Dirt to Daytona as well, which was really well received. So big news for anybody who's interested in that license, because it's been pretty rough going for the last 5 years. The games have been generally terrible. And sort of always with the promise that things were going to get better, and they never really did. So I have really high hopes for this, and I hope the teams, both those teams over there, have the time and the resources they need to do it right, because I know they can. They've proven in the past that they can, and I'm really excited for hopefully what we'll see later this year. September, I think, is when it's coming out. So yes,
nice.
Very excited, very excited.
All right then.
At least I got to talk about it.
Yeah. So here's something else that we can all get excited about. Microsoft releasing 1 million dead or abandoned gamer tags back into the wild. They did this last week over a 24-hour period, so that everybody would have an equal chance of getting them, I guess. So yeah, Wednesday and Thursday, they freed up.
Does that include Velocity Girl?
I didn't bother to check. But it's funny because I had no idea that this happened, but I changed my gamer tag this week.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, to my last name.
Oh.
Which I've been wanting to do for years, and for some reason it just struck me to see if it was available, because every other time I checked it wasn't. And I know why it wasn't, because you guys will probably remember this, especially, well, at least Phil and CJ, you will. Yeah. Back when the Xbox was released, everybody in the media got an Xbox Live account, the original Xbox. When the original Xbox Live was launched on the original Xbox, everybody got a Live account, and my account name was Seward. And they sent headsets to everyone that actually had the name monogrammed on the side. I don't know if you remember that or not.
Yep.
Anyway, then, I left EGM, and I had my own personal account as well, but I kind of always wanted that account name, and it has been locked up for years because they had all these old accounts that had not been migrated to the 360, but were still technically active.
Right.
So anyway, just saw that on the show notes tonight. It's like, that's why it was suddenly available.
Yeah.
Right.
Cool.
Good. Congratulations.
Very exciting week for me.
So I don't remember if you remember. I think this might have been during the run of Player One because we've been around so damn long, almost 10 years now. So I had the Gamertag Super Pack for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And then after, I was kind of sick of it because people on like multiplayer first-person shooters would say, "Hey,
Vote for Obama.
Tupac.
Super Tupac, yeah, I love Tupac." And it's like, yeah, that's not. So I changed it on Xbox.
So you changed it to Super Tupac. Right.
Yeah.
Of course. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I had changed it to Full Metal CJ years ago, and
Lame.
I kind of regretted that because my name on PSN is also Super Pack, and my Twitter handle is Super Pack, and so this week I was able to switch it back. To
Nice.
Super Pack.
Nice.
That's right. Triumphant return.
That's
Congratulations.
Yeah,
The more
just
things
in time
change, the more they stay
for-
the same.
I don't know what.
Now to go
Time for the
register.
next election.
Now to go register Full Metal CJ for myself.
Great.
Exactly.
Start the sabotage.
Exactly it. And so people sometimes, listeners of the show, they add us on PSN or Xbox Live, which I am always happy to do. But
Yes.
I will say, like, if you're doing that, please, in the message, like, say something. It can be even just player one,
Yes.
P1P, something. Otherwise, I won't accept the request. So if you're listening, please
Wow.
say P1P or something.
Same here, because it's just there's so many spam requests that come through now too. I'm just so afraid that I'm going to be saying yes to that instead.
Yeah, exactly.
Ah.
Exactly. And you got Overwatch coming out this week, which I'm going to be playing a lot of on PlayStation. So if anybody wants to play Overwatch on PSN,
Hey.
please add me.
So can I ask a totally naive question here?
Sure.
Does Overwatch have a campaign or not?
Overwatch does not have a campaign. No, it is multiplayer only.
Ah, okay. Well, you have fun with that.
I sure will.
Amen, brother.
I definitely will.
So how do you beat it?
How do you beat it? You pay Blizzard a lot of money?
Ah,
No,
that sounds great.
There's no
So is
no
that-
end.
Does that signify a good game though?
It's one of those.
No. I'm
How do you
being
beat How do you beat
I'm being
Tetris,
flippant.
Ethan? You big
I'm
doof.
being flippant.
How do you beat
Hey, I'm
Donkey
loving
Kong?
I am
You
loving
jackass.
Pocket Horse Jockey right now, which has no
Yeah.
ending. So
Yeah.
I am jesting. Yes.
See you, Nintendo Badge Arcade, also no ending, also very addictive.
How do you
Many
beat
games,
How do you beat
yeah.
Nintendo Badge Arcade?
How
Turn
do
it
you
off.
beat Street Fighter
Get-
5?
You get all the badges.
Mm-hmm.
Once
Street
you
Fighter
get
5
all the
doesn't have
badges.
Street Fighter
Uh,
5 has no ending. Is that what?
To be patched
Yeah.
in later.
I'm asking. Oh, really? Okay. Nice.
Yeah.
No, I'm just saying that generally speaking, it's not that I'm totally opposed to multiplayer only, but I don't get into it as
Generally,
much.
But
generally
Overwatch is so fun. You guys are missing
are
out.
cool.
I'll have to at least try it. Yeah.
I do realize that you guys probably aren't the right audience for Overwatch, Greg and Phil especially. But
Yeah.
man, I love that game.
Yeah.
It is so much fun. Anyway,
much
speaking
fun
of
is
fun
it?
games, it's so.
How much fun was it?
Speaking of fun games,
Yeah.
you hear about this?
You hear about that?
Two critically acclaimed Batman games coming out remastered on PlayStation 4.
I was really excited about that
Konami's-
trailer until I realized what I was looking at, and then
That's
it's
Konami's Batman Returns game for the SNES.
and
That
Sega's
one and
Batman
that one
Returns
and
for the
Arkham
Sega CD.
Origins.
Arkham City, Arkham what?
It's Arkham Asylum and Arkham City.
Arkham Asylum and Arkham City. Yeah.
And
Cool.
mysteriously no Arkham Origins.
No Arkham Origins.
That's pretty cool that you're getting one good game in there, though.
So yeah, it
I'm
comes
sure
out
those games will
July
actually
July
look
26th.
great. I kind of sort of want to pick those up because they are really replayable, and you know it's just such an awesome Batman experience. I would be very happy to play those again.
Well, from what I understand, you're the world's biggest Batman fan, right?
Yeah, you
Mhm.
got that.
I do know that.
Yep.
I know that for
I
a
don't.
fact.
Is there a reference here I'm not getting? Or
Yeah, Ethan really likes Batman.
Just really likes it.
He likes Batman.
Hmm.
I saw the Tim Burton Batman movies in the theater with Ethan
Yep.
a couple of years
Both
back.
of them. Over
Yeah.
at the Castro Theater. It was great fun.
Double feature.
Yep.
those
A
are
couple
some good
years
flicks.
ago,
You jealous?
during Beta Breakers, I saw someone running dressed as Batman, wearing
Oh, yeah?
just the cowl. Yeah,
Just the cowl?
yeah. It was a Tim Burton Batman too. So
Well,
How
yeah.
did you?
Well, he couldn't move his neck, you see, because it was
he can move
it was
everything else.
It was the Tim Burton cowl, yeah. Bruce Wayne,
Wow.
why's your dog hanging out like Batman?
What?
Christopher Walken would be
So
as Max Shrek.
did you just
You
an
see,
aside on Walken? Did you see the Kevin Spacey turns into a cat trailer yet?
what? What?
Yeah.
could
It
be watching
heavily
hockey right
features
now.
Christopher Walken. Go check it out. And
Go.
when you do see the trailer, I hope you come back to the show with your own impersonation of the character before you've seen the movie, much as you did with the Country Bears.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I like how you say before I've seen the movie, as though I've sat down and well, I better catch up on the Country Bears. I've been doing that walk-in impression from Country Bears for a while now.
Let's
I guess
hear
it's
it.
time.
Let's hear it. Come on. Let's hear it.
You Bears. There you go.
That's it.
You Bears. You think you're going to save your Country Bear Hall with your jamboree, but I will close it down and build a parking lots. You Bears. And so on.
Oh, I think we've lost
Okay.
Greg. Wow.
That's
That
okay.
didn't take much. So since Greg's gone, we may as well talk about this.
Now that you Bears are doomed, I'll bring out my henchmen.
Oh, yes!
Oh, Jesus.
little bears.
Hey, to transition but still stay on movies for 1 second, did you hear that Ratchet and Clank lost $10 million for Sony?
I
Whoa.
did.
Ouch.
Yeah.
What?
That sucks.
I
But
did hear.
Angry Birds made $39 million at the box office in the U.S. this past weekend.
Well, it's because
Yep.
it has Sean Penn.
Yeah, clearly.
Kids love Sean Penn.
Yeah, it did surprise me. My son turned to me and said, "Was that Penn?"
Yeah.
I don't know. We're gonna check the credits.
Wow.
What was really awkward though was when his son turned to Ethan and said, "That guy had sex with Madonna."
Yes, that
So-
was awkward.
hmm
Yeah, that would be. Very
498 episodes.
You know what's not awkward? Let's
um,
transition to talking about Pokemon. You know, they announced the
Oh wait, hang on. Wait, before you get started,
starters for Sun and Moon. Yeah. Yeah, there you go. Nice mute.
Oh, Greg just left. Okay.
Nice mute. The starters for
This
Sun and
is-
Moon have been announced.
This is actually kind of nice now.
You got Litten, you got your Poplio, and your Rowlet.
And
Yep.
people are hating Poplio.
They really are. They're hating on
Which one's
quarter
wait?
Poplio.
Is Poplio? Is he the seal? Is he the
That's
circus
the
seal?
one, yeah, the circus seal.
How do you hate on the circus seal?
IGN did a survey. They said, which one do you want? And 50% wanted the grass type, 40% wanted the fire type, and then just 10% wanted water.
Yeah.
Whatever. But is that judging like actual popularity of the character, or is that just judging which starter type you want to have with you at the beginning of the game? Does that speak?
That's a
speak ill of
good question.
Poplio, or does that speak ill of water types as starter Pokemon?
And funny enough, that's exactly what my daughter said when I put the question to her. I noted that she didn't choose the water either, and for her it was just entirely a historically water's been bad to choose first type of answer.
There you go.
There, see,
Yeah.
there it is.
So the game takes place on an island, sort of modeled
Yeah.
after Hawaii, called Alola.
Lola.
Alola. And they showed off a
Alola.
bunch of gameplay in a new trailer.
Alola.
So are we finally getting a game that is entirely in 3D, or is this also a 2D, 3D
This
deal?
looks like it's almost entirely in 3D. Whether it'll have the 3D effect on the 3DS is up in the air, because the last one didn't really use that, right?
It
No.
used it only
Used it-
for like the overworld stuff. If you were
Right,
in
right.
battle, it didn't. But I guess I would hope that at least with like the new 3DS, they should be able to do that, and it would be nice if they made it possible at least on that machine.
I guess we'll find out. I have turned off the 3D for the most part in most games still.
Ah,
Oh, yeah.
Sorry.
Hot breaking. Hot breaking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In other breaking news, so Microsoft has announced that they're bringing Halo 5's Forge to Windows 10, but that does not mean that they're bringing Halo 5 to Windows 10 for some reason. Yeah, you can make levels and play test them, but not actually play Halo 5.
I mean,
Weird.
considering that's going to be still one of the biggest sellers for Xbox One.
Well, why even do it? Why do it then?
Did Halo 5 perform well? Because it seems like this time around it just didn't get the media excitement that even Halo 4 seemed to be able to get.
Yeah, I think it did pretty well. I would be curious to see what the player population is like now, but
Halo
I think-
5 reaches $400 million in sales to become the biggest Halo.
Yeah,
Oh,
I think
there you
Halo
go.
5
There you
did,
go.
Okay.
did
Biggest
plenty.
Halo launch, I think it was.
Yeah,
So, yeah, it did all right.
Cool.
Yeah,
and that's
decent-
it.
So again, a quick aside on that, and I'm sure we'll talk about it more down the line of the show. But when playing Doom, it's kind of interesting how that game maintains the feeling of Doom, whereas Halo very much felt like it had to be Call of Duty to be able to evolve. It's like it
Yeah.
doesn't really feel like Halo anymore.
Although, didn't I hear that Doom's multiplayer actually feels like Halo? Like with the
Oh,
whole
that's interesting.
weapon
Really?
limit and everything like that, the 2 weapons only, and
Hmm.
Yeah,
I heard
I've
somebody
only
say
played
that.
single
I don't
player.
really know because I've not played any of it. So
Phil, did you
Just-
bother with any multiplayer on that yet?
No, I have not.
You should just play Overwatch instead.
Why
I
would I do
did
that?
I did load up Uncharted's multiplayer briefly.
How's it?
It looked pretty good. I only played through the introduction to it, which is it gives you an achievement for that, and 29% of players have completed that. So
Hmm.
a little bit of an increase from last week. So
Means
Yeah.
people are finishing it. Since I bought that
Yeah.
one digitally, I'm not going to flip it, so I'll actually, end up trying the multiplayer this time.
it seems really cool. I didn't actually play any matches, but from the little trial rule sets, you can do a bunch of trials offline and just try out the gameplay, and it seems really awesome.
That's cool.
So, all right,
Radical.
yeah. Shall we move into what we've been playing?
Oh, yeah. Okay.
All right, Phil, go ahead.
Yeah?
Tell us all about it.
Well, buddy boy, I've not been playing a whole lot this week.
Yeah.
The end of the school year is fast approaching. We had some standardized testing we had to do, so I've been kind of busy with work.
Sure.
So I didn't get a chance to play any Uncharted. I got to play a little bit of Doom, and I played a little bit of Ratchet and Clank with my son the other day. I think
Yeah.
I'm at the end of that game.
What's happening?
I have just arrived at the deplanetizer stage.
Oh,
Okay.
okay. Yeah, you're pretty close.
Yeah.
You're pretty close. You're not right at the end, but almost.
Okay, yeah, because that was near the end of the film, so I figured probably I'd be pretty close to the end of the game. But that's such a good game.
Oh, it's
It
amazing.
really
That's
is.
a
Just gotta
really
play it.
good game. Ratchet and Clank games are really good.
And it's
Yeah,
the deal of the
that
year
they
so
are.
far. $40 for that thing's incredible.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
fan-friggin-tastic. I really enjoy that game. And Finn gets a kick out of it too, so...
I kind of want them to go back and do the rest of the games.
Oh, like reboot them?
remaster
re-
the rest of the games. Yeah.
Reimagine them, that sort of thing?
Yeah,
I'd be down
I
with
would
that.
I would take a new one too if you want to do an
Yeah.
all new Ratchet
Yeah.
for
I
PS4.
would
I'd
love
love
to
to
see.
know what the long-term sales are for that.
Yeah, I'd love to see a new one
Yeah.
because I mean the last couple in the PS3 were incredible.
Yeah, the future ones.
And
Yeah.
what the hell happened to Sly Cooper the movie? Because I would assume that there has to be a tie-in game to that as well. Which
I'm
I'd also
curious if Sly Cooper the movie is going to happen now. You just finished saying how Ratchet and Clank lost them a whole bunch of money.
Yeah.
yeah.
I can't imagine they're gonna go ahead with that one.
But I hope
I mean, I hope they do.
I hope we get a game out of
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
That'd be good.
Well,
Yeah.
and frankly, I'm just surprised that Sanzaru hasn't done more because I think that they really got it, and
They did.
The last game was great. I
Yeah.
would love to just get more of that.
I gotta say though, you guys saw the concept art for the Sly Cooper movie, right?
No.
Yes.
They redesigned the characters and they looked really ugly.
Yeah,
I'll
but
agree
they,
with
I mean,
that.
at least Ratchet and Clank, they looked like how they look in the game. They didn't actually redesign the characters or anything like that. But yeah, they made them look ugly.
And that Ratchet and Clank the new game was done by the North Carolina studio, right?
Was it?
Oh, huh.
Pretty cool.
Hey, you remember that 4-player Ratchet and Clank game that was really
I think everyone's trying to forget that.
that game was awful.
Is that what it's called?
What was it? All for
All
one?
for one or something like that?
All for one, I believe. Yeah.
Terrible.
Sonic Generations outsold that in the same year.
All right.
Okay. Yeah.
Whatever, Sega boy.
Yes. So Ratchet and Clank, you're almost at the end.
I am.
Yeah.
That was the big thing, and then yeah, like I said, I played a little bit more Doom, but we can let Ethan chat about that.
Alrighty, let's let Ethan chat about that.
Okay. Yeah, so again, with Doom, just really happy about the speed of that game. It
Yep.
just is completely unpretentious and just knows exactly what people who love Doom 1 and 2 want and delivers that more effectively than Doom 3 did. And it kind of got me thinking it was not dissimilar to, whereas, say, with Star Wars, you had George Lucas come back and make these prequels that seemed to kind of misunderstand what people wanted from Star Wars. I think kind of a similar thing happened with Doom 3, where you had Carmack and a lot of the original id guys come back, try to do something very different than Doom 1 and 2. And what do you know, that's not actually what people wanted. They didn't want a slow, plotting kind of survival horror Doom. So whoever at id is responsible for this one, clearly, like J.J. Abrams, kind of said, all right, what people want is more of the original, and provided that. And this game, the best way to describe how it feels like the original is that in addition to the speed, you're never using your iron sights. You just don't bother. It's there. If you press the left trigger, you'll get it, but you really are better off just doing exactly like you did in the original Doom, which is running around and firing when the reticule is in front of the guy and moving on. But it really feels and looks like the original Doom in a way that surprised and satisfied me. So I was planning on skipping it because it didn't get any reviews. But again, last week after Phil was talking about it, I wanted to give it a shot. And GameStop had a pretty amazing trade-in deal for it. You got 60% additional for every trade-in towards the game. So getting rid of Hyrule Warriors and Star Fox Zero got me that game. And I'm just really happy that I picked it up.
Nice.
Or Star Fox Zero.
Yeah. I think we also had a Metacritic bet going on.
We did.
Oh,
which
yeah.
I think Phil won.
It's at 85 right now.
Which is exactly to the digit what I said.
Oh, that's right. You did say it. I thought it was 84 you said, but yeah, you said 85. Yep.
So, dun 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 dun. What do I get for this? What do I get for this grand victory?
I don't think there was anything on the table.
There
I
wasn't
think I
anything on the table.
get this month's Patreon donations.
It doesn't bother me.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, it's getting really good reviews, and
It's a really good game.
I really want to grab it at some point soon.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm tempted.
it really hits your sweet spot as kind of an older gamer that your experience with
things that hit my
first-person
sweet spot.
shooters.
Especially when you're older.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I mean, your
Yeah.
experiences with first-person shooters obviously go a lot farther back than Call of Duty 4, and this is for that audience. This is for the 40-somethings, I think.
Yeah, I like the whole going back to basics thing of this, and to an extent, Overwatch is similar to that too. Where in Overwatch there's no
Jeez, you
death,
and your Overwatch.
deathmatch.
God, we're
Right.
getting into Overwatch.
Overwatch.
Get ready to do
By the way, Overwatch is
But I like
imagine?
the back to basics approach for
Yeah,
the first-person shooter genre. It's good.
I think
Yeah,
Adult Swim
yeah.
Games was publishing Overwatch.
Yeah, no kidding.
For as much.
I wish.
Yeah.
Game is
Yeah.
hot. H-O-T.
Hey, Ethan,
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
did you find many secrets in that game? Yet?
Not yet.
In
No,
Doom?
I've only played for a couple of hours so far.
Okay.
So.
Well, did you find any of the little Doom guy dolls and stuff like that?
I have not. No.
Oh, geez, Louise, someone's got to. That's one of the things, nice things about this game is you going through the levels. There's no like real critical path through the stages. There's all these sort of side branches that you can go around and explore, and you need to exploit that more. There's cute little animations and stuff. When you find these little secret dolls and stuff, and there's little animations that play when you do that. Have you
That's
seen
cool.
some of the special animations for certain deaths and things like that?
For your character dying?
Yeah,
Oh,
Yeah.
I since I'm so good at the game, I haven't seen that many deaths.
that's
So,
not true. So I'll just give you one example. This is, a bit spoilery, but it's Doom. Who friggin' cares? If you fall into lava, there's like molten metal or lava or something like that, and if you fall into it and die, your character just starts kind of flailing around and sinking into the lava, and as he's going down, he gives the thumbs up as his thumb as his arm sinks down into lava. From
I did hear
the
about
very
that.
Terminator, yeah.
from the abyss. If you've seen that,
Give this, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. No,
But,
I like that it doesn't take itself too seriously. It's very
Exactly,
tongue-in-cheek.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's a fun game, and it's great, and it is super fast paced, and there's like the platforming is actually handled really well.
Yeah.
Running because there's all sorts of, and this is kind of playing to the fence outside trying to get in. But there's the We're not doing Fill of Toys right now. It's player one.
He's going to come in holding his contract.
So
Listen, old man.
Scram.
Just told your kid to scram.
Yeah.
Well, he calls his wife
I'll-
Kevin, so
Evan
I'll
Tube
let
just
you
called
know
him
when
and
I
told him to
need
back
you.
off.
Oh, there's something. Are you getting some of your toys in here? Okay. Hi, Finn.
That's allowed.
Wow. Dana just
Oh, there
told
they are.
Phil to shut the hell up.
Yeah.
You want to go show toys?
Oh man.
Make sure you don't take Daddy's toys.
Okay, now we're gonna let Daddy do his podcast, okay?
Yes.
Let Daddy do his stupid little podcast.
Right.
But yeah, if you want to find all the secrets, you really have to explore the levels, and there's lots of little things you can jump on and climb up. Very vertical oriented stages and things like that, and even the platforming is handled really well, and it controls very smoothly, and yeah, I've been having tons of fun with it.
Well, and even as somebody who is really a big fan of Uncharted, I can kind of see why Phil was saying when you're playing Uncharted, sometimes you think in the back of your mind, I kind of want to be playing Doom.
Exactly.
Just
And Uncharted 4 is great. I'm really digging Uncharted 4, but
Oh yeah.
part of me is just like, I just want to be running around shooting demons.
Yeah, it's just the super fast pace of it, and also moving to Uncharted 4 bit. I'm almost at the end of the game. So
Watch the spoilers.
yeah, I'll
Yeah,
be
don't
careful.
spoil anything.
But I will just say that, and CJ, I don't know if you've had this experience, but I think it was starting at about chapter 14. I found that navigating the environments became harder, and I was finding myself stuck more often than I think I should have been in terms of trying to figure out where to go next. The areas really open up, and that's something they've been advertising as a big feature in the game, but that's led to me in more than a couple occasions finding that I don't know where to go next. And then, unlike a lot of open world games that have some type of map that give you a sense of where to go, this doesn't until you've just been stumbling around for longer than you're comfortable. Then it becomes a, would you like a hint? And it's like, no, I don't want to feel like I have to do something that's a handicap.
Exactly. I will agree with that 100% because I mean, I'm not nearly as far in the game as you are, but in the opening section of Madagascar, when you're in the Jeep, looks gorgeous, and I really was enjoying it at first because I kind of like driving. It actually had a very much a Metal Gear Solid feel to it.
Yeah.
Because let's go look at those ruins over there, and when that's happening, it's fantastic. And also like the conversations that were happening between the three characters during the drive, because especially where like they really seamlessly would break into the conversations to point out a landmark or something like that, and then very seamlessly again, like one of them would say, "So what were you just talking about?" And they would launch back into the conversation they were having before. Like it's super well done. But I agree with you, Ethan. Like I was driving in circles a few times, and it really breaks your sort of suspension of disbelief when all of a sudden there's a big white banner on the screen that says "Press up for a hint," because it's been too long since it's taken you so long to figure out where the hell you're supposed to be going.
Yeah, absolutely. The other thing also that
and the fact that you need it.
Yeah, totally. It's all, and you'll encounter, I think, quite a bit more of that, unfortunately, as it carries on. But the other thing is the fighting in the game, outside of the the gunplay, is not very good.
Nope.
So it's just this type of thing where you're breaking guards' holds on you, and you're doing some light counters, but it doesn't even feel as satisfying as like Assassin's Creed. It's just very clumsy, and I wonder why that is 4 games in, that when you have so many other better models, from Batman to Assassin's Creed to Sleeping Dogs, as to what you can do with melee combat up close in this type of environment, why it's still this like really kind of lame reversal, pound reversal.
I don't mind that so much, and that actually during the game this week, one of the things that I didn't realize would happen, which was pretty cool, is that like you can get into these scripted moments where the two brothers will actually grab someone and slam them on the ground if they're close by. Very cool, and it's kind of fun to watch, Sully or your brother sort of jump out of the bushes and grab somebody and do a stealth kill and everything. Yeah. But the whole element that's always been there in the Uncharted games, where the weapons are always about, whatever's been discarded, that's what you pick up and use, which worked really well, I felt, in the first 3. Now when you've got this really heavy stealth element, it totally destroys it.
Well, and the other thing also is even the stealth is not particularly good compared to standard bearers. Yeah.
You don't have any... It's the same conversation we had last week. You don't have any recourse once you've screwed up.
Yeah.
It's very hard to fix the problem without just restarting the encounter.
Well, and basic things like being able to throw a rock or something to distract people is
exactly.
not there.
Or getting a weapon with a silencer on it.
I really wish they had that, where you could throw a rock. Yep. That would be great.
So I think the thing with Uncharted, I still love it, but I think that it is a game of peaks and valleys, of highs and lows. It's not perfect by any stretch, but then again, I think it was the end of Chapter 11, there's a race sequence in there, and it's the one that they showed off at E3 as well. So
that's the one I'm doing right now. That's where it stopped.
That, I would say that might be the best 20 minutes of any video game I've played ever. And I know how hyperbolic that sounds, but it was unbelievable. You were calling a movie.
I would say that the driving segment I hated. I really hated it. I kept getting caught on corners. I kept hitting parked cars. The Jeep like slides around all over the place.
You're playing like a real escape bonus, Johnston.
I really was, and I was just getting frustrated. Once I got past that into the second section of it, that to me is Uncharted. And then the game really starts to shine when it's like, I'm not going to describe what happens because I don't want to ruin it for anyone who hasn't seen it, but there's sort of a second part to that chase, and that was incredible. And I'm really, really digging that. But getting there was a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
And you're right, it's peaks and valleys, and it's
the other
2 major encounters this past week too, where I had the exact same thing, where I'm just playing the same goddamn encounter over and over and over and over again, and I can't get a handle on it.
And here's the other kicker to me is that I think that, again, that the highest highs are better than anything that Crystal Dynamics has done, but on the whole, I do think Rise of the Tomb Raider is a better game.
I would agree with that so far, based on what I've played.
I will say, I mean, there are a lot of things in the game that break your immersion, especially their reliance on this particular type of puzzle that they just go back to over and over and over again. And I'm sure everybody knows. I'll just say it's the you can't reach the high ledge, so you have to get a box or a crate, and it's always the same type of crate. You could be like in the jungle where there's almost nothing, but find like a crate,
The rolling crate, yeah.
the rolling crate, and that is just a little bit overused. And
Well,
later,
Last of Us did a similar thing, if you remember, with the whole
they did.
Ellie can't swim thing.
They did, yeah, definitely.
that-
And it doesn't really make sense when you also
Yeah.
happen to have a rope, like where you could get up to those ledges. And I love in the game where like you jump to try to get a ledge you think you could get, and Drake does the very little like half-hearted.
Yeah, I know.
Jump up here.
He's so acrobatic the rest of the time, but if it's not something he's supposed to be able to reach, he jumps like me.
Well,
Exactly.
to the other end of that coin, though, is I do like the fact that he's doing all these dangerous things, and every once in a while it doesn't work out for him. But it's scripted not to work out for him, right? He is a human being. He doesn't make every jump always. And I'll say nothing more than that to avoid any spoilers, but I do like that he is not a superhero.
Sure, I was
sure.
surprised by a couple moments in the game where I didn't do the thing I was supposed to do, and there was a scripted moment there instead of the screen going black and white and just starting over. And I thought, I guess I was supposed to do. Oh wait, no, I'm restarting that area, so I wasn't supposed to do that.
Although
Yeah.
I will say too. I mean, I'm banging on it a lot, but then there was a tower sequence. I just did a tower sequence there when we're talking about puzzles. Like that to me, from start to finish, that area was that's what I'm looking for in Uncharted. And even the fight afterward was fine. Leading into the chase.
Are you talking about the clock one, or?
Yeah, the clock tower.
Okay.
I really enjoyed it just because I liked the way the puzzle worked. Because it wasn't, it was just a very organic thing. Like to figure it didn't hit you over the head with what you had to do, and you sort of got to figure it out a little bit. It's like, okay, cool. And there's like a lot of different. Obviously the routes were, you had to go a particular route to each part, but it was still kind of fun to figure it out. Even getting up to the top, and then the crazy stuff that happened to get back down, like, was just very Uncharted. That's what I was playing that, and like this is what I want in an Uncharted game. Like, this is what I've been waiting to see. And then again, like, the chase happened, and then I'm in another section where it's like, this is again what I'm looking for in an Uncharted game.
So I finished the game last night, and I will say the second half of the game is filled with a lot more of those moments than the first.
Good.
Like,
Good.
It definitely picks up.
Because the first 8 chapters have not been stellar.
So,
Yeah.
and I want to go to one area that might be mildly spoilery, so I'm trying to figure out the best way to say it so that people who've gotten there will understand and the others won't be spoiled. There's a sequence with an old woman, I'll say that. Okay, do you know what I'm talking about?
You just spoiled it. Yeah.
I don't think that spoils anything.
Oh, okay. I guess not.
But no, I mean, the thing is like, when you are in that environment, all the snooping around and stuff just felt boring to me.
Well,
I mean, it was
to me, that
beautiful, but
bit felt a lot like Left Behind in
it sure
The Last
did.
of Us
Yeah.
DLC. Like, that whole bit was like so The Last of Us, and I thought it was fun, a fun diversion at that point in the game. So I ultimately have no problem with that one. But I do sometimes I find areas where they like pop up a button prompt to get you to search something and nothing's there. If that happens too many times in a row, like, that gets really frustrating.
Yeah. Well, also it's not encouraging to have the whole, hey, find this object in the house, and you have a million different things you can look at, and you find things that look identical to what you're looking for with a slightly different label. It's just like
On the 8th time, you actually find it, and you're like, oh.
Right, right. So as I said, it's not perfect, but it's definitely fun, and
Yeah.
the high moments are unlike anything you've seen from a production value standpoint. I do wonder a bit if the people making it have gotten a little bit bored with it because just like you watch the Indiana Jones movies, and with every uh, new film, you feel the formula more and more.
Mhm, mhm.
um, it almost feels obligatory that, oh, this time it's not going to be snakes or large insects. It's going to be ants, that type of thing.
Sure.
It just you start to feel that type of thing here too, where there are these kind of beats that it has to hit, and you just
Mm.
wonder if Naughty Dog isn't actually kind of more interested in moving on to something else now.
Well,
Okay,
now they get that chance because this is their climactic finale to the series, right?
I I don't know. I don't know if they've gotten bored, but I will say that the all the complaints we've been having about the encounters, it definitely smacks of. I don't know if it's the developers or the testers that just got way too good at this game,
Hmm.
because
Oh, sure.
it seems like the way they're making a lot of these encounters difficult is that they just throw way too many guys into it. Like
Yeah,
it's almost an overwhelming number sometimes.
or too
Like,
many flank you. Like you'll trip
well,
off
that's
one
just it.
thing, and then like there are enemies all around you, and you're
Yeah,
still
exactly.
screwed.
And it's just like the couple of battles that I was having. Well, one was an ambush, so I mean they were constantly.
Right, right.
It's just wave after wave coming in. And it's like, really, let's let's stop this now, right? And then another one where there was more stealth to it, but it's like anytime I get discovered, it's like, Jesus, there's like 20 guys here. I thought there were like four. Like, where'd they all come from? And then you realize they were there the whole time. You just didn't see them. But there's so many of them. I don't know. It
Do
just
you
feels like
not
they throw way too much at you.
before you get into an area where you know there are going to be encounters? Do you not like hide in the tall grass and
Both of the
mark
ones,
all the
both,
enemies?
both of the ones that I'm talking about, it was an ambush both times.
Okay, because I generally
It
like
was
sit
obvious there was
there.
going to be an encounter because there was lots of waist high cover everywhere, but they didn't show up until you were already in the area, and then it was
Gotcha.
kind of on you to avoid them.
Okay, and I'll give a couple of tips for Uncharted 4. Pro tip: um, they have an option in there to snap to targets, and I know it maybe makes the gunplay way too friggin' easy, but to me in an Uncharted game, that's perfectly fine. If you turn that on, you'll have a lot easier time with it,
I,
I find.
I wish aiming was the problem I had with the combat, but it's not.
Okay, and then
But yeah,
the other thing that they added is a thing instead of tapping the triangle button to open doors and things like that, you can hold it down. It's a toggle in the options screen, and that is fantastic. I
Oh,
love
that's cool. Yeah.
I love that option.
So
So
yeah, I look forward to finishing that. I'm almost done with it. But a game that really surprised me this week, something I just picked up used at GameStop because the price was right. Didn't expect much from, but I'm really playing a lot of this past week is Assassin's Creed Chronicles on Vita.
huh.
And I don't know if
Okay.
any of you guys have played that, but it hasn't gotten spectacular reviews, but it's just a really fun 2D side-scrolling ninja stealth game where you can distract enemies with firecrackers and things like that, and it's just really a really satisfying experience to try to get through stages without being seen, doing your stealth kills, which are pretty acrobatic and fun to watch, and trying again to finish a stage if you haven't completed it, finishing all the objectives. I just think that it's one of those games that actually works better as a handheld game than it does a big console game, and is, in my opinion, better than Assassin's Creed 3 Liberation was on the Vita.
Hmm.
So just really also excited to kind of go back to Vita. I haven't played with my Vita for a while, but every single time I pick that up, it feels like some type of alien technology from 5 years from now. It's just, I mean, it does feel great. The graphics look amazing compared to 3DS, and it's a ton of fun. To the same end, I also picked up that day Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3. Um, and I picked that one up because I had been messing around a little bit with the iOS game Contest of Champions, and just felt like, okay, well, I just want all the great characters. I don't want to spend $200 to do that. So I think that I'll just go and pick up this game. And not only does Ultimate Marvel Capcom 3 age beautifully, it's just gorgeous on that machine. But it's also, as it turns out, tough to find because it's out of print. So it's one of those things where you're always going to be very happy that some games are still on physical media, because I was able to get a copy at one of the 11 GameStops that was nearby. It was the only GameStop that had it in stock. But if it weren't for a physical copy, that game would just be inaccessible because due to licensing, it's been pulled from all the digital stores. Comparing that to purely digital environments where, when Godfinger came out on iOS, I got kind of nostalgic, and I went to try to play Rolando again, if you remember that game.
Of course.
And I loved that game when it came out, but it's no longer available, which means that it doesn't exist anymore. And if only there was a physical version of it that you could go buy and pop in. So all these Vita games, 3DS games, will be available forever because there are physical copies. And I guess this week I got a greater appreciation of the importance of that.
Certainly.
Physical for life.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like those Assassin's Creed games also kind of got lost in the shuffle when that series, when Unity came out and it was getting a lot of bad reviews and whatnot. I think the first Chronicles came out around the same time. It was like 2 months later. I feel like people weren't done with Assassin's Creed, or they didn't feel like having more at that time, so those games got ignored. There are like 3 of them, and the Vita version has all 3 of them
Assassin's Creed
on there. So I've always been curious to play them, but have not yet. So
yeah, I would recommend it for sure. The last one I wanted to bring up was after last week having bought Double Dragon, I did end up getting Double Dragon 2: The Revenge, which is one of these arcade games that I had never been able to plunk enough quarters into to beat. So it felt good to finally do that and see the end screen for that. And it ages even worse than Double Dragon 1, but still, I love having those. And when I'm playing those games, I'm not thinking about how poorly they compare to something like God of War. I'm thinking instead, man, if I was 6th grade again and I knew I could have arcade perfect versions of these at home, I would just freak the hell out.
Yeah, I feel that way with a lot of games now, like the Virtual Console stuff, like the Super Nintendo games that are coming out. It's like I can play Super Mario World and Link to the Past and Super Punch-Out portably. It's crazy.
Yeah. Oh, and actually...
Yeah, portably.
Is that a word? Is that a real word?
Yeah, that's
it's
a
a real
word.
word.
Sure.
Portably?
Sure.
Speaking of portably, actually one more that I know will not be of huge interest to this audience, but it's so good that it's worth mentioning. You can download it for free and unlock everything for $7, but it is Mr. Crab 2, which is the featured game. Have you tried that yet, CJ?
I have not tried it yet, no.
Oh, it's Illusion Labs. It's so good, and you get a lot of content from free right off the bat just to see if you like it, but it is really fun.
Cool.
So check it out if you get a chance.
Awesome. I've been playing Uncharted 4. I finished it.
What happens at the end? Who dies?
Can't tell you. I don't
kill Drake?
want
Does
to
Nathan die?
spoil it. I
Just-
thought the
just
ending was really good. Well,
I
well,
don't-
we'll talk. Well, we should do like a separate spoiler thing and talk about all that.
I don't want to be spoiled.
Maybe we
Just
get-
tell me if
maybe we
Nathan
can get-
dies.
Maybe we can get Mike on the show to help out with that, because I'm sure he would have some things to say.
Oh, yeah? Yeah.
Too. Yeah.
Okay.
And then my hype is all Overwatch at this point. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's right.
Yep.
Greg?
There's a NASCAR expansion for Forza 6 this week.
And that's our show for this week.
Well, when you guys started playing Pokemon, I went and got this ready just in case.
Look at that.
But congratulations, you did not let that conversation go too long. So
that's right.
brava.
Yeah, Forza
I
6
got nothing to
NASCAR.
say about it. It's $20. It's a little bit pricey. But hey, it's more Forza 6, so I'm happy.
Cool. When's the next Horizon game?
I would assume. I kind of thought we'd hear about it already. I'm guessing we'll see it at E3.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
I'd be down for that.
Oh, absolutely. Day one.
Always. Like any Forza Horizon game, I'm down for that.
And it can just be the same game again. I don't care.
Sure.
Put it on a new map, make it the exact same game. I'm there.
Yeah. That's one of the best. One of the best games on the platform. All right. Let's do some tweets.
Okay.
You got that.
Okay.
Okay.
Sure, Game of Thrones is coming on. Let's do it.
All right. Hacker alias Joel W. Music says, got all of the Genesis games on Steam because of the update. Are there any other hidden gems like Shining Force?
I have no idea what's available on Steam.
Yeah.
I mean, Shining in the Darkness is a great little game, even if you're not really a dungeon crawler. I don't like dungeon crawlers, and Shining in the Darkness is one of my favorite RPGs of the 90s. So,
It's not a great little game.
I
I don't like that game at all.
What do you know?
No.
Your son's favorite Indiana Jones is Indiana Jones 4. What do you know?
Right.
True. Indiana Jones 2 is my favorite game. My son's is 4. Yes,
Oh
you're
boy.
right.
Yeah, see, neither one of those choices is right. So,
No, Shining in the Darkness is okay. I guess I'm just such a fan of the Shining Force stuff that nothing can reasonably compare.
but it doesn't have to compare. It's allowed to be a good game outside of being Shining Force.
I suppose. But it's not a good game. That's
It's like, well, those games aren't Final Fantasy, so
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what's available and what's not. I mean, there's lots of. I'll tell you what. There's this great little YouTube series called Generation 16. Good place
Yeah.
to go for Genesis information. Although only until the end of 1990. But you know,
That's enough.
just saying.
All right. Hacker alias Mr. Nelson says, were the old letters to the editor in gaming mags as toxic as internet comments on games and game players are now?
It's interesting because those were able to be kind of sifted through before actually getting published, as opposed to forum
Yeah,
posts that are-
exactly.
We just didn't print the ones that were.
I'll tell you what. You cost a SquareSoft game a Platinum Award in EGM, and you watch the toxic letters come in.
So,
To the
Phil,
editor.
if you and I can share a story, and you'll probably be the best wordsmith for this, but
Okay.
we had the contest in Game Now magazine for naming and defining the mascot for the magazine. Remember the little robot that we had?
Yeah, that's right.
Do you remember Mr. Happy?
I do not.
You don't.
I do not.
Sounds
No.
like
I remember Jeannie Kim getting an email from a dude who sent us Mr. Happy. That was a weird day.
Yeah.
What was this?
So,
I don't remember this.
Yeah, I'm trying to avoid sensitive ears that are in the room and just leaving here. It's one of those stories. Yes. So you recall this? One of the very artistically gifted fans of Game Now did a detailed drawing of Mr. Happy, who had swastikas for hands.
Okay.
He was built as an upside-down cross.
Okay.
Yikes.
And he had a funny little Charlie Chaplin mustache, I think it was.
Oh,
Um,
sure.
yeah. From The Great Dictator.
Great dictator, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, and I remember somewhere in the picture phalluses were worked into the whole thing. It was charming,
Mike
Naturally.
Fallis? Oh, sorry.
and I think the best part of it, of course, was the name, just Mr. Happy. You know.
Mr. Happy.
Yeah.
Well, he's delighted to share video game knowledge with the world.
We didn't
Oh
choose
my
that
goodness.
Mm.
No, that one did not win.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
All right.
So the answer is yes. Yes.
Yeah, of course. Of course.
It just
And
wasn't quite the volume because people, there just wasn't quite the volume because the
I would
internet
also
wasn't
say that segment of readers didn't feed off themselves because you didn't get
because you didn't
replies
get
to that.
attention. Yeah.
Yeah, you didn't really
Yeah,
get.
that's also true.
Yeah. Should we do this one from hacker alias Webb Andrew Webb, who says, "How did you guys end up in Lombard working for EGM?"
CJ just showed up one day and wouldn't leave.
I just showed up. No, I lived like 2 suburbs away. That's how. And
Yeah.
I played
No,
games
but
and could write words about them.
You
And
you did a fanzine, right? That's
yeah, I did a
how you ended
fanzine
up
for a
there.
couple of years and had always sent issues to EGM, and then they gave me a job interview and a job. So
hmm.
that's how I ended up there. That's a short
Yeah, it
version.
was lucky that it was in all of our backyards for real, you know.
Yeah,
Hello?
except for Greg.
Except for Greg.
Jesus. I didn't even know Illinois was a place before I started working there.
Yeah.
How did Phil end up there? How the hell did that happen?
Well, no one was looking one day.
Sean Smith's good buddy? Was that
That's basically what it was. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. Because I went to school with Sean Smith. We went to high school together, and he
Now
was working there.
Seanable.com, by the way.
Now Seanimals.com,
go buy something?
and he was working at EGM, and he told me that they were looking for some person who can string words together, and I stringed them together good.
Good?
Or good enough for a mid-90s video game magazine, which, let's face it, was
Yeah, that's pretty low
You
bar.
go back to that.
didn't have to be very good. I'm sorry, didn't have to be very well.
Ah,
There,
mhm.
that's
Better.
that's gooder
That's
English.
gooder. Yeah, that's gooder.
Yeah. So
Yeah, and
anyway.
it still makes me sad that video game magazines are beyond being on the decline now. Where this week, for the first time, I tried to do my monthly trip to Barnes and Noble to pick out the new copy of Edge because I just liked the physical copy. And
Mhm.
either I don't think they sold out of it. Either they just stopped carrying it, or didn't get a shipment this month, but like couldn't get it. And that's one more that I can't get anymore if that's the case.
Oof.
Yeah.
So
how-
when you make these trips to the bookstore, specifically to get that magazine, do you refer to that as edging?
That's not the way I refer to it. No.
Hmm.
how
Okay.
the hell did we find Ethan?
You mean on
I
the
seriously don't
podcast,
remember.
or,
I just remember him being a freelancer all
Oh,
of a
yeah.
sudden. I forget how.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was thanks to my friend Scott Granke, who was doing
Ah.
correction and saw when he came over and hung out with me and we were talking movies, an EGM poster on the wall, and he said, "Hey, I used to work there. You want me to introduce you?" And so I ended up interviewing for the role that went to John Dudlack.
Yes.
Oh
Right.
yeah.
And so, I was told I didn't get the spot, but that I can do some freelance, and I was super excited about that. And so ended up doing that for about a year until Game Now popped up.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Yep. And that
And-
year of freelancing, I think I made $15,000 total. But was
That was our whole budget.
yeah, it was 100% worth it though. Honestly, to just take that time and build the relationships and become a part of it because. I don't know how you guys feel, but I to this day think that the most fun I've had in a professional environment has still been working for those magazines.
Definitely one of my favorite places in my professional history to work.
I agree
yes.
with that.
It was.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
just a group of amazing people having a whole lot of fun doing their jobs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and again, it was just one of those things where in any other job that I've had, I've really deeply enjoyed a lot of the other things I've done in the industry, but none of it has been actually creating the content. So if you're a producer, you are making sure that other people are creating the content on time. If you're PR, you're making sure that the stuff gets marketed properly. But the beautiful thing about working for the magazines was we were actually creating the very content that we loved digesting as consumers.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and I think even today's media, like the best outlets, are creating the type of content that they think their readers or their audience want to see. It's great to see Game Informer still out there fighting a good fight for print. They do a lot of great video coverage too. Their website is great, and they are sadly introducing movie humor and sports coverage to their website, which
Well, they've got what is it, GameStop? I mean,
Well,
it's
yeah,
still EB Games up here. I mean, they're shifting away from just video games too.
Well,
so.
yeah, and every video game press outlet is basically like that too. So I mean, there's probably it's probably working. So kind of sad to see, but they do a lot of great content too, and good to see them still around.
And the fact that it's been so much of the same crew with Andy Mack and Reiner and all
Yeah.
that is just awesome. But I think that's the other
Totally.
thing is that there are some people in the industry who it's just so much in their blood that they can't not do it. I think that's why it's been great for me as a listener to have listened to Player One for all these years, because you guys can't not do it. You know what I mean? It's like this is something you love to do. It's a part of who you are. And I think readers back in the day at EGM could tell that there was that difference, that real passion for the material.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like for me, it was kind of the same thing as CJ. I mean, I was doing it for free before I got paid to make content. I mean, working at Gaming Enthusiast Online, which was Sam Kennedy's site, and then we all shifted over and created Gaming Age Online. We weren't getting paid to do it. We did that for a few years.
Yeah.
And it was getting some freelance from Mark McDonald when he was heading up Pocket Games one issue, or whatever issue that was, and getting me to do a whole bunch of. I actually was doing Ethan's job. I just did a whole bunch of reviews on Game Boy Color games, and then that led to a job interview with John Riccardi when he was running Expert Gamer. That's how I ended up down there. Although I didn't end up working in Lombard. That was after we moved to Oak Brook. Lived in Lombard, but I worked in Oak Brook.
Well, and I've mentioned it before, but the relationships that you build in that kind of environment, and I think so much of it also was just a part of our age. We were all in our early 20s, but they are different than any other kind of relationships you get out of any other type of job. I mean, all the editors have kept in touch.
Yeah,
Definitely.
definitely.
It's true.
Except with John Douglag, screw that guy.
Yeah, what's he doing now?
I haven't talked to John in a long time. I don't know.
A long time.
He's kind of disappeared.
Yeah, though I think it was about 6 months ago, Dean Hager popped up and said hi to me on Facebook, which is kind of nice.
Wow, what's that guy doing?
A long time. Yeah.
Dean Hager.
Huh. All right, Hacker Alias Feature Preacher says, with the end of the 360, do you think Microsoft and Sony will keep the digital stores up to buy downloadable PS3 and 360 titles?
I think they will for a while, yeah. As long as it's still making money.
Yeah.
Well, the other thing is, when you have the awesome kind of backwards compatibility thing going with Microsoft, it seems they've really been tapping into the benefit of keeping those digital games available for Xbox One players as well from the 360. I picked up Quantum Break this week. I haven't had a chance to start playing it yet, but so happy to just get that free copy of Alan Wake, which I'd never played before.
Man. You'd never played Alan Wake before?
I've never played it.
What?
You have to play it.
Oh my God! Yeah, you really
so
do.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a hell of a freebie. No, but I think there's sort of a PR element to keeping those stores open as well, because I mean, we've talked about this before. There's always that bit of backlash where you buy digital and you don't feel like you necessarily own what you've bought, and then when something gets delisted, like you were talking about earlier, there's sort of a, I don't know, it's infuriating, really, if you've had to clean the fridge at some point and you want to re-download something and you realize you can't. Even if it's for an older console, it's like, there's definitely an element of that. As long as it's not costing them too much, it's worth their while to sort of keep that stuff available for as long as possible, I think.
Well, we can look at that in real time in that, I still have and use regularly my PSP Go, just because there's a lot of real good software on there, and it's super
PSP had a great library.
The
It had an
PSP
awesome
Go is
library,
great.
yeah. And
Yep.
and
That was ahead of
so,
its time too.
but
We were
the
talking
thing
about
is
the Vita being 5 years ahead. The PSP Go.
oh yeah, and I'm telling you, you pick that thing up, you put it in your pocket, and you're amazed at how it just kind of dissolves. It's like you don't feel it at all. But that
That's what she
library is reliant on being able to access the online store, right? Because there's no physical. So that is one of those things where, like, every month I'm a little bit nervous. Like, when is the month where I'm going to have to just put all the games I want forever on that with the limited space that I have?
And then hope your hardware never dies,
Right.
said. Yeah.
which it's going to. So,
Yep.
Yeah.
Though again, some things last. I was really surprised and happy to see that my 6th grade save from The Legend of Zelda is still working.
Really?
Some of my cartridge batteries have lasted a long time.
That's
Oh.
crazy.
Yep.
Nice. While playing Uncharted, by the way, I ran into a graphical glitch that made me think my system was gonna die soon.
Mm.
Oh, that's a
Yeah.
scary thing. Yeah, on the PS4, I had a weird issue where my discs kept ejecting, and there's a trick where you take the plastic, the rubber off of the area near the start and eject buttons off, and then it solves the problem.
With mine, it was
Crazy.
my system was overheating. That's why my PS4 actually sits on top of my entertainment center and not in one of the little nooks,
Mm,
because it
Huh.
just needs so much airflow.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Totally.
My Xbox stopped getting Kinect games. It's like they stopped making them or something. It's weird.
I disconnected my Kinect
Wow.
for
Oh.
just a few
Nah.
weeks ago. Yeah, during
You could
the
probably trade that in for not a terrible deal. Maybe get a game out of it.
you're probably right. During the Overwatch beta, because you see, and this happens on PlayStation also. Sometimes games default to using your camera audio because there's a mic on the camera, right? So PlayStation games do this as well, where they will use your PlayStation camera mic as the team chat, and you have to tell it not to do that. And on the Xbox One, I believe that's not a global setting, so it just like during the Overwatch beta, I was hearing a lot of conversation that clearly wasn't meant for the game, and I was like, you know what, I should just disconnect my Kinect while I'm thinking about it. So I did that.
Do you miss it at all?
No, I don't miss it at all. Not at all. Hacker alias Benjamin Rivers says, what would you rather play and beat if forced to save your family? 100% completion Donkey Kong 64 or no warp Battletoads?
Oh, Donkey Kong 64 for me.
Donkey Kong
Yeah.
64, because I think
Yeah.
I could actually do that one.
I think I could, yeah.
Exactly.
I think
Yeah.
I got pretty close to doing that when I reviewed it. So, yeah. I liked that game.
Yeah,
That's
that
so
was when you were
weird.
going through a deep depression, right?
That was. No,
It generated the Deep Depression.
yeah. No, I like that game. I don't know why,
That's-
but yeah.
Because you have notoriously bad taste in games. Because that game, no good.
Yeah. I'm
good.
actually really looking forward to Ukulele,
Uh-huh.
which is sort of a return to that style of game. Hopefully they
For return to terrible form.
Yeah, return to terrible form. And
Wow.
I'm curious to if they've learned any lessons in the intervening years, if they will
Well,
apply that to
I'm
that.
confident about that one. Those guys are definitely going to climb up to the top of the yarn ball. I mean,
I-
they.
Very nice. Very well
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway,
That's a shame.
I think that's a show. That's a good show. We should end at climbing to the top of the yarn ball because that's my favorite quote ever.
Yes.
I will never outrun. I will never be able to run away from that horribleness.
No,
Nope.
no, you will not.
Hey, at least you're not the guy who put on the back of the Turok Evolution box that you'll take weeks off if you're an FPS fan to finish that game.
Ooh, who was that?
Mm.
Oh, that was me. And Mr. Seward actually really advised against that quote. Yeah. We had one of those
Ethan's an
afterwards
excitable
dinner
lad.
debates. Yeah.
He's an
about that
excitable
one.
lad. He likes what he likes, and he likes it a lot.
Yep.
What was that game? Kaya.
A lot
that
of
you really
hurt
liked?
in a belly
belly.
shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
Kia?
KYA.
Yeah, Ethan was really hyped up for that game.
Yeah. And
and
the Britney Spears game, whatever it was called.
I still
Britney's
have
Dance
that.
Beat.
Britney's Dance Beat. That's right.
Copy
Yeah.
of that.
Phil's review of the GBA game, and I love that it was Phil who reviewed it. He put as the pro, the cartridge is not poisonous to the touch. That's the one thing
Yeah.
he could say. was nice.
Which I tested that, and yeah.
Yeah.
The posters in Ethan's cubicle always made me feel a little uncomfortable.
Oh no, the ones
Yeah.
in Slims would make you feel uncomfortable.
What is that guy doing now?
I don't know.
We had him on the show one time, remember?
Show, and it was great. He was a great guest. That's one of my favorite shows. That
was a long time ago.
A couple arcade stories that were really classic.
Oh,
God,
Yeah.
Slim. I just remember leaving late at night on deadlines. It was like midnight, and he had no earthly reason to be at the office, and he's sitting there doing the same effing Street Fighter command on that joystick over and over and over.
Yes.
Like he just constantly practiced moves on. I think it was Street Fighter. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
Oh,
it was Street
What are you-
Fighter 3.
What are you doing here?
I
home.
remember he was when I was coming in as a freelancer. He was so nice to me, and
Super nice
he
guy.
was-
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
he was a great guy. And when I found out that I was getting the position, I knew that I was moving into an apartment complex that was very, very close to where he lived. And I was like, hey, maybe we can carpool together, that type of thing. And he thought that I was teasing him because he thought I had heard that he was being let go as I was coming into the company. And so he got actually quite upset, thinking that I was like just kind of mocking him, and it's like that's so not my personality. And I was fortunately able to resolve that, before he left, and say no, I had no idea. But yeah, that was an awkward transitional time.
A little bit.
Hmm.
Yes.
Alrighty, and that is our show for this week. Thank you very much for listening. If you have a question for us or would like to comment on something you heard, you can direct that to @P1Podcast on the Twitter, or you can go to our internet website at player1podcast.com. There you'll find our contact information. You'll find blog entries about Sega CD stuff from Mr. Seward.
Yep.
Yeah?
I get nothing
Gener-
coming anytime soon, but yes.
Generation 16 episodes.
That is coming along. Episode 18 is coming along very nicely.
All right. And you'll find a message board where you can discuss this episode and Overwatch. No, I think I'll try to set up some kind of game on the PS4, so any community people want to play, we can do all that stuff, and we'll talk about it on the forums at player1podcast.com. So check that out. You can also discuss this episode with us and our other listeners right there.
If you'd like to subscribe to the Player One Podcast, you can do so by visiting player1podcast.com or by going to the iTunes Music Store. While you're at the iTunes Music Store, you can also visit $1.99.
Cheap.
Pick up the Player One Podcast iPhone application. It gives you one-touch communication with us via the emails, the Twitters, what have you. You also have all of our episodes.
Flipped.
Almost don't count, though.
Oh.
All of our episodes ready to stream right to your listening device. And hey, Android cell phone telephone users, the Play One Podcast iPhone application is available for your listening device as well for that same $1.99.
Also cheap.
Find that right over there at the Amazon Android Marketplace. We're also on Stitcher Radio. You can like us on Facebook. You can, do whatever junk you do on the internet. You can
Sure.
watch us live most weeks, as well as watch archives of past episodes at the YouTubes. youtube.com/P1Podcast, and just follow our Twitter account to find out when we'll be broadcasting our next live show. And if you've liked what you heard, and how could you could head over to patreon.com/P1Podcast. Throw a few shekels our way. It helps keep the lights on, the juices flowing, and it keeps CJ swimming in hats for his Overwatch characters.
There you go.
They sell hats, right?
I don't think so. No.
Well,
They don't, they should.
yeah.
So loot boxes that you can open. It's a
There you go.
And
Help
yeah.
CJ get his loot box on.
that's right.
CJ, thank you.
Hey, no problem, Phil.
What's your name? Greg, thank you.
Thanks. I want to call out something real quick.
What's that?
Extra Life. Getting back into full swing on Extra Life for this year. I'm trying to raise. I raised over $5,000 last year, and I want to exceed that this year, which is a big ask. But I'm starting out. I've started out now. I'm at 200 right now. $200, not $200,000. And I'm going to be doing a charity stream on Saturday, May 27th.
Oh,
I think that's right. Or is it 28th? Saturday's
I
the
don't know.
28th, I think. Yeah, it is. It's the 28th. May 28th. Big racing weekend on Memorial Day. You got the Monaco Grand Prix, the Indy 500, and the Coca-Cola 600. So I'm going to be recreating those on the Saturday before and doing a whole bunch of racing online. Twitch.tv/Seward. 10 a.m. Eastern is when I'm going to be starting on Saturday, and you can donate if you so desire to extra-life.org/participant/Seward. Please give what you can.
Cool. I also forgot to plug Generation 16 for you, Greg.
That's okay. I'd rather that people go give money to Extra Life.
Well, if you, yeah, there you go. Go
But
give
thank
money
you,
for
Phil.
Extra Life.
Thank you, Phil.
But you can go give money to Seward too at generation-16.com. But give the money to the sick kids this time around.
I appreciate
How about
that.
How about that? Ethan,
Yep.
thank you.
Thank you very much.
You gonna
Good.
plug Ethan's blog?
Well,
Yeah.
I did. You didn't give me a stepping
Well,
on
we
my.
forgot. I think we forgot to last week, so
Well,
should,
this
do that.
is not last week, is it?
No.
Ethan, where can the internet find you?
So folks can find me on Twitter at Ethan_Einhorn, or they can find me at my blog, which is videogamememories.wordpress.com. And I'm going to be adding some new content to that. I'm finally going to start doing some reviews, which I haven't done for a while, using the A to F scale that we used to use back in the day. So that'll be fun.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yay.
Yep. Starting with
Awesome.
Uncharted 4 when I finish that.
Awesome. And yeah, go check out Phil of Toys on YouTube.
Yes, I gotta go watch
subscribe
that.
us. You should actually watch us. Like I said, episode 2 just went up, and it's a lot of fun. Finn is adorable. Not to like toot my own kid's horn, but my kid is friggin' awesome. So yeah,
And let
check
me know
that
how that goes, because I mentioned on the show before, but I'm actually looking this summer to maybe do a Nintendo podcast with my daughter.
Oh
Yeah, I
yeah,
gotta-
it would
that'd
be
be fun.
great.
I gotta figure out a way to exploit my kids on YouTube too.
Yeah, it's the way to do it. You know, I'm hoping I can get this running so once he's old enough to upload stuff himself, I can just retire, live
Yeah.
off of his YouTube ads.
Oh, and if
So-
you have like 9-10-year-olds Pocket Card Jockey, my daughter cannot put that down, and she's
Oh,
gotten
yeah?
way better than I had at it. Yeah,
Yeah.
reading and all of that. It's crazy.
She's so into horse racing now. She's been asking Ethan to take her to the track for reals. A little, maybe a little off-track betting. You know, get her hooked right now.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a great idea.
So there you go. There you go. We'll see everyone next week. What episode is this?
498.
Ooh, join us
There's
next
2
week
more episodes.
for the penultimate episode next week. We will see you then.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Toodles.